It's the... Hey, you guys want some FPS games? First one is free. Actually, most of them are demos, and those are all free. Just take this here spoon, and you grind up the demo, and you mix it with water in the spoon. You light the spoon, you cook, inject between your toes. I'm sure you're all familiar. So, recently, a lot of things have been coming out, and people have been asking if I will do a deep dive into... Forgive Me, Daddy. A game that everyone tells me I should love, but I don't. It feels weightless and strange to me, like the damage feedback seems exactly the same whether you get hit with a paper airplane or a freight train. Shooting enemies feels like breaking cardboard cutouts. I keep trying to plow through it like, I don't know. One day when I am very old, there will still be people asking me for a Forgive Me, Daddy video, clutching their Etsy Necronomicons, being super interested in the lore, and this one, it just doesn't do it for me. What about the other hundreds of games? You think I haven't played those? You think I could possibly resist a game called Metal Hellsinger? Or Turbo Overkill? Or Frog Monster? Nah, kids, I've been playing Steam demos and early access boom toots alone in a dark room for weeks, and then Steam Next Fest happened, and the entire collective might of the retro shooter community decided that on this day, or a staggered schedule of roughly a week during which there's also a PC game show that makes me vomit in my mouth but for the wrong reasons, get your gamer cards! Is this really what we killed God for? We have been blessed by a flood of hot, slippery grease for the insatiable content machine. Dance for my amusement, you spawn of flat-fingered whores! Frog Monster, of course! That's not a thing I made up for the end of the last video, but it is a game that I had never played or seen footage of, and I picked it randomly when I saw the name pass by me on Twitter, because it sounded funny. This whole demo so far has a very strange and different atmosphere. A lot of that is due to the non-action music. Even though you're jumping around shooting things with a revolver or a shotgun, it feels almost innocent, and a tiny bit horrifying sometimes, and what surprised me the most was how cohesive everything feels. Areas lead organically into the next, not just because of the layout, but because of the work done on the visuals to make everything naturally flow together. It sets a very definitive tone that's hard to shake. It's surprisingly pleasant, till I get to this boss that kills me and... Wait, it's a fucking Souls-like?
Graviton.
April 20th. Nice. 2XXX. The hottest century. Thanks to my high resilience and my even higher scores on the Universal Weapon Handling Assessment, I was lucky enough to get hired as a security guard for top secret project Extranium. Apparently, they're working on some kind of biohacking technology to enhance the body's abilities tenfold. They didn't give me any more details, but then again, I was hired to keep the peace.
What could possibly go wrong?
Patrons have seen that intro before, but I promise everything else here is new stuff that I wrote about this game. Heck yeah, we're doing it again! I've had my eye on this one. Looking for something simple, fun, and as comfortable as you can get while shooting things? Have I got a game for you? Extranium is the final boss of cute itch.io games. The cartoony and simple aesthetics mixed with the retro design and the completely flat Wolf 3D Blake Stone-ish layouts hide something a little deeper. Not much deeper, but a little deeper. Take the techno-future elements of Blake Stone along with the vending machines that dispense power-ups and the simple economy where you get money through murder, and you have a perfectly enjoyable little indie shooter that would probably fly under the radar when stuff like Most of the other things in this video are being released, along with the 500 other Steam Next Fest demos and early access titles. Extranium sets out to do a thing, achieves that thing, and aside from the Corridor 7 flashbacks this end screen gives me, efficiency rating, how dare you? Everything's dead, right? This is pretty much everything you can do with this style of game. The weapons feel good, the sounds and music are nice, the levels are well designed, it's all very comfy, very relaxing. And one of the secret levels is E1M1, and that's adorable. The secret levels are about as secret as anything that you've put on the map already. You don't beat a level when you take a secret exit, which chaps my ass, but the ones in this first episode are all early in the stage. I still have to get insulted by this low efficiency rating when I exit them early. Thank you, game, but I'm a YouTuber and I don't need to be further demoralized. The grenade launcher splash damage is a little misleading compared to the explosion it makes, and the game is desensitizing me to violence against cute cartoons. It's not the best game I'm showcasing today, but it's the best game it can be, and that's kind of inspiring. Project Warlock 2. Oh my god, it's Project Warlock 2 again. Can I do one of these without mentioning Project Warlock? Probably not. Project Warlock 2 has graduated to the third dimension. The art style is very similar to the first game with the smoothly animated sprites, except now instead of a ton of flat, bite-sized levels, you've got 6 huge ones. I don't know exactly how the character selection will work in the future, but from the character you can use, Palmer, I can take a guess. Palmer is described as having a balanced loadout in terms of magic and firearms, so I would guess that the other two classes favor one or the other. I know that Palmer gets 3 powers, temporary guns akimbo, for the weapon you're holding, an ice blast, and fire. Palmer is a disciple of the first game's protagonist, so he's also dedicated his life to fucking up monsters real good. First weapon you get is an assault rifle that kinda sucks. It's inaccurate, does terrible damage, and as soon as I have a shotgun it becomes irrelevant. Until we get to the upgrades. The upgrade system is like the one in the previous game, where you choose what you want to use the weapon for. And looking in this little upgrade tree here, I could make it into a better machine gun, but it gives me the option to turn it into a railgun, and since all the enemies in this game have weak points, and I want a railgun, I am not disappointed. I was able to fully upgrade every weapon I had during Episode 1. The Claymore gets an execution mode or magic. The cannon, which, when I picked it up, I was disappointed wasn't a grenade launcher. Well, until I upgraded it into a grenade launcher.
Fucking roll!
The shotgun could be upgraded into a quad barrel or an auto shotgun, and I'm gonna play again and try the auto shotgun that can be upgraded into a flat cannon, because that also sounds awesome. The staff will upgrade to either fire or lightning, and while I don't know how good the fire staff is, I can testify to the busted-ass enemy deletion capabilities of the lightning staff. This one is significantly harder than the previous game, which is fine because even with the live system, that game was a little too easy. And this game does away with the live system entirely and gives you quick saves. Even then, the game is still harder because as you go on, there's less and less large health pickups for you, and you're scrambling around looking for the tiny ones that the enemies drop. The enemy count is a little intimidating since you can see it when you pause the game, hundreds upon hundreds of them, and to the game's credit, it never feels like a slog to get through them. I'm fairly impressed. The levels can be a little too big and difficult to navigate, and the designers know this because the map screen gives you little arrows to tell you where the next objective is. That fixes that issue, but in terms of level design, someone needs to tell me what the fuck is up with the raw-ass texturing in this game.
Not the fucking way.
Stop. Katie, are you using the Iggy mix or the Bowie mix? It's a simple question, Katie. Is it the Iggy mix or the Bowie mix? Because I can hear it. And I specifically told you I said the 97 Iggy mix and not the thin, watered-down Bowie mix. So I'm asking you again, is it the Iggy mix or the Bowie mix? Jesus Christ, are you asking me? Is it because I know the fucking difference between something that sounds like someone taking a chainsaw to your eardrums, which is the thing that I want, and you ruined it. You ruined the whole goddamn video, you bitch! Turbo Overkill. Apogee is back, baby, the height of gaming excitement. They're here to turbo some overkill, or possibly overkill some turbo. This game has a chainsaw leg. Turbo Overkill rules. What a way for new Apogee to come out of the gate. Publishing this game by Trigger Happy Interactive, we got an unapologetic cyberpunk 80s cheese fest where the main draw isn't a chainsaw arm only because it would prevent gratuitous dual wielding. No, it's a leg. Your slide is an overpowered jib creation engine, and what better arena to show that off in than a half pipe? Even if your chainsaw leg can be used a little too often to trivialize some encounters, especially since you can get the cybernetic enhancements that make it so it gives you health and armor back. It's got all the weapon and character upgrades that new games are, I guess, contractually obligated to have. You have plenty of other things that can help too. Your auto-targeting pistol, your electric explosive jumping shotgun. There he is! Or your bitchin' double barrel with a grenade launcher, or your wrist-mounted fuck you missiles that'll delete even mid to high level enemies in one blast. Or your minigun flamethrower. The level design is mostly linear, funneling you into different set pieces that are usually pretty creative and sometimes fucking mind-blowing. Shout out to the destructible screen environments. In fact, this whole level, Dead Plaza, is great. But we're here for the hyper-violent mayhem and cool music. I can't tell you how happy I am to see Apogee publishing stuff like this now. Easiest recommendation so far. Metal Hellsinger. I don't have any real rhythm, that's why I do edited videos, where Katie polishes the shit up so I don't sound stupid. Or I don't sound as stupid. I sound like I might be able to tie my shoelaces in a pinch. That did not stop me from enjoying the Metal Hellsinger demo so much that I am at a loss for words as to how to properly convey how awesome it is. You'd think that the rhythm game meets demon slaying meets corny earnest heavy metal featuring actual metal singers would be too much, and that the game couldn't possibly deliver on what it's promising and would devolve into self-parody. And then you play the demo and it's like...
I remember this place like it was yesterday. Wish I didn't. Coming all right. The chaos ain't quiet.
Boom! Fire emojis. Briefly restored my faith in humanity. King shit! Herat Episode 2. Did you enjoy Herat? Because this is more. Let me tell you, Herat Episode 2 has everything. castles, sewers, bears, axe guys, ghosts, puke, getting blitzed on wine, boulders. Bullshit! The undead, sewers full of the undead, abusing the disabled, sewers, Carter 7 references, vengeful Slavjank chickens, alcohol poisoning, horses in gimp masks, sewers, extremely resilient snakes. You know what, there's a decent amount of new stuff here, so I'm gonna give it a preemptive good shit. And I will award it nothing higher until my quote is off its store page. It still hasn't gone into space, which is kinda disappointing. Goddamn, Stalin ruins everything. Wait, no, this takes place in 1986. Goddamn Gorbachev. Finally, a GoldenEye like. Let's ignore the elephant in the room and how MGM are dicks and don't realize that a GoldenEye re-release would, and I'm being literal and 100% serious, print enough money to support a movie executive's cocaine habit for almost an entire week. And I'm talking releasing a shitty Eddie Murphy movie against Jurassic World 7, Return to Ilsa Sword and Malcolm's Revenge, the Unix system kind of week. Listen, it's not that I hate Hollywood. I mean, yeah, it is, a little, but it's also that I think that it's gone downhill since they took the cocaine from the cast and crew and gave it to the executives. Agent 64 is a GoldenEye clone, so much so that it's blurry, every gun is a smart gun, you drop into a level with a finite amount of health and have to deal with objectives, disarm some bombs, way easier than I thought, throw some gadgets onto things, save some hostages, and turn the fucking mouse sensitivity up because I feel like I'm swimming in gravy trying to cap these suited mooks. Could be due to arthritis because the main character is less aged The Rock era Sean Connery, and more that smiley old man from the memes. Katie, run some gameplay, but pick somewhere I don't embarrass myself. Beyond Sunset is a cyberpunk GZ Doom sword swing shooty bang bang, and it's pretty good. Previously on the show, we've looked at Head-On, the pioneer of commercial games using GZ Doom, and each successive one that I play feels less and less doomy. Beyond Sunset's movement doesn't feel a thing like Doom, probably due to some extremely long and painstaking effort to make double jumping, dashing, and ledge grabbing work. You are Jane Sunset. I'm kidding. Your name is Lucy, and you have some memory problems after being in a bit of a shady super soldier program by an equally shady company. And after a combat training simulation, you know, the thing that they do before teaching you not to rampage around the company offices killing all their security guards. Priorities? This is a game I've played in various different forms, and I'm not just talking about the retrowave cyberpunk aesthetic or the Amnesiac Super Soldier. I mean, I've been playing versions of this game for like a year, and it's interesting to see subtle changes make huge differences. This sword, I hate the animation, it feels weird, functionally fine and fun to use, and the first thing the game's going to teach you about it is that it can deflect bullets back at enemies, and do a sweep that can give you health back. Yeah, this isn't Doom rules, this game is Doom 2016 Doom Eternal rules. Enemies can cut you down quick, even the lowest security droid, which spawn in giant packs by the 3rd or 4th area. The guards have either rifles or shotguns, the shotguns being fun because you can deflect all those pellets back at them. You don't technically need the sword. Your energy pistol has infinite ammo, and you need the secondary fire from that to break shields on certain guards, and turn any of those guards into paste. Very handy. An SMG that you can grab two of. Once I had the second, I never went back to the single. These robots here, either ground pounding or flaming you, need that extra oomph to take down. It's all very tight in terms of its mechanics, clearly polished and workshopped over and over. The demo has you running up and down and around this tower, destroying the cooling tanks for the security system, so you can do 90s hacker shit like put on a helmet and fly around cyberspace, but not seizure-inducing tech war cyberspace. There are side quests, yes, side quests in this demo, including leaping and dashing to the side of a building to get a teddy bear for a robot, so he'll give you a rocket launcher. It makes more sense in context. Because you can talk to robots, and this one wants a friend. This one doesn't want to be covered in blood again. This one is dealing with his creators telling him that he's going to be deactivated, so I shut down his emotion module so that he no longer fears the cold embrace of death. So, combat, very nice. A lot smoother than I expect from GZ Doom games. Have a taste. This dude Raven says he knows you and will meet you in the parking garage. Unfortunately, he isn't going to kill the boss first. The contractor. I know this enemy's name because it's killed me so many times. He's not as bad as he used to be before the public demo release, but... Whoa. This may be a Doom Engine game, but no more shoot at it until it dies. You have to learn his patterns and pick up on the subtle audio clues that mean double jump or slide, and you only get one dash before cooldown, so sometimes if you fuck up once, that's it, you're done. He spawns health and ammo pinatas that can also shoot at you, which seems a little mean-spirited, you know? This one is going to require paying attention and knowing your movement abilities. After that, you do meet Raven, and he explains that humans built this cool supercomputer that... Oh, little on the nose there, don't you think?
Fuck you, asshole.
Still, good shit. I love how it's coming along. These GZ Doom games are getting a little ridiculous. I know this one has been in development for a long time, and they're putting a lot of care into the details and world. I sure hope no other GZ Doom projects show up and are somehow more— oh fuck, it's Sulaco! Sulaco is absolutely insane. I can't even begin to contemplate, let alone explain, how the fuck is any of this, and I'm a teddy bear. Sulaco is another one that I've been playing for a while, but I haven't been able to show footage of, and best I can try to explain this game is if someone decided to make Fear, but in space.
I'll take one man, no need to fear.
And while there's currently no bullet time, that doesn't matter because the name of the game is Obsessive Detail. So you've got the Fear influences here, right, which has that slow motion gun stuff, and all those slow motion shooting games owe a debt to Max Payne, which owes a debt to John Woo. And there's a thing about those John Woo movies which the most successful of their imitators understand, which is that every piece of the environment exists to be exploded with bullets. If you shoot a 200-page novel in a John Woo movie, it explodes into 400 pages. Sulaco, inexplicably for something on GZ Doom, also follows this philosophy with, like, everything. Everything. Everything you shoot is giving you different visual feedback. I might have to slow it down for you to notice. The AI isn't what it was in Doom. The enemies do not just walk towards you, they communicate, or they give you the illusion of communication and working together.
Generator back online.
These soldiers will flank you, they'll strategize, or if we're going with the fear comparisons, the game is playing some kind of sophisticated trick on the player, making you think that they are, based on environment paths and such. Either way, you've got to keep moving, and encounters become thrilling cat and mouse games. Sure, sometimes it runs a little bad, a little, like there are occasionally FPS dips, but this is a modified version of GZ Doom, and I can't believe any of it runs as well as it does, considering that the whole thing seems to be constantly moving, juggling different effects and scripting in order to make the world feel more alive. For those of you complaining that the blood is pink or purple, why? Do you hate easily readable visual cues in games where there are a lot of particle effects that obscure everything? Can you not achieve orgasm without red blood? Believe it or not, Metacorp has you covered with Silakum. See that? Now it's man sauce. I hope you're happy, you fucking baby.
Even at this moment, our fashionable city is under assault. Baggy pants, dull suits, sightings of socks with sandals. A message needs to be sent, and it needs to be sent in style.
Fashion Police Squad has absolutely no right to be as fun as it is. You don't even murder people.
Vertical fee-based advisors. Are all your loans in order? Are all your loans in order?
Seductive!
Fashion Police Squad is why politicians hate video games and violence.
Let's go.
Pretty soon you're gonna see people colorizing businessmen and desaturating dude bros, and I'm not sure that's the America I want to live in. They're gonna come for people in orange jumpsuits next. So you're not killing people, exactly, so the weapons aren't lethal. This shotgun, the To Die For, is like an upgraded version of Homer's makeup gun.
Snazzy!
Now you're ready for a night on the town.
Oh yeah.
Its secondary will desaturate colors that are too loud, which will also power up the gun. For health, you drink cocktails, because what I want is drunk cops going around making my personal fashion decisions. Stop making my jokes for me. If you fill your fab meter, you get the fab slap power up, and you just go around slapping motherfuckers into good fashion. And I have to respect a game that is willing to go this over the top. I slapped this dude into the afterlife. He is now a ghost. This man's suit has decent color intensity, but it's an ill fit. Pull out the tailor-made— oh fuck, it's David Byrne. If you want some actual violence, well, you do whip the shit out of people with a belt. The belt also allows you to do some fun and responsive platforming. We have a mysterious informant to give us info about all these fashion crimes. Deep Coat. Get that fucking pun out of here. The game really gets going when you have all your attacks and you have to mix and match in order to make it through the hordes of stylistically challenged businessmen and ass-exposing vape heads, culminating in a fight with Hugo Boss, CEO and guy who needs a lot of extra color, who at one point holds the ill-fitted suit guys in front of him as a human shield. You know what? Good shit. Let's move on. Slayers X Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer is a game that I'm almost positive I came up with when I was 14 years old. It is the most awesome game in the world and is somehow related to Hypnospace Outlaw, and it makes the worms in my brain dance. Zane Slayer is the raddest person who ever lived. He's so rad he's got hack blood, which according to this message on the wall is very important.
It looks like the psychos busted up our hack blood pipes. Now the poo is coming alive. That's messed up.
He's got glowing green eyes, 2 pistols, a gun that shoots glass, a blade shaped like an S, but not exactly this S that's drew in your notebook, and he must destroy the Psycho Syndicate. Zane hates squishers. Wait, glass sharts and psycho punks.
If you're that ugly, I do not want to see your mama.
and there's living poop monsters, and so I Kool-Aid Man into their sewer house, and I murder them and steal their X-100 Rapid Mutilator, especially this chicken here. That's weird that they would have a chicken in a crib. So the vast majority of this demo takes place in a sewer, where they stole Gloomwood's poop texture, and the rats talk to you because this game was designed to trigger every running gag this show ever had.
Oh, I love the smell of sewers. Zane is awesome. Oh, what is that smell? Oh, it's me.
Well, hey, Civvy. Did you know my father is in this game? Do you know what his name is?
Oh God, please no.
I don't know either.
This is like someone polished up the worst game I've ever played and made it functional, and I will never forgive it for that. Flying jester heads that shoot projectiles at you, which aren't too hard to dodge. Now that I think about it, this game isn't very hard, and I'm playing on the hardest skill, which is called I'm Awesome, because I couldn't pick Not a Real Gamer, because that's embarrassing, I guess. Then Normal Gamer, which obviously I can't pick. So here's I'm Awesome. And the jester heads all follow me into this trap bathroom in what I can't describe, but I can show. So here you go. But one of them just won't die. We escape the sewer and wind up going to the laundromat, which makes sense because who wouldn't want to wash their clothes after coming out of the sewer, am I right? I may not have found all the secrets, but I got 110 out of 105 kills, which is pretty awesome. I guess since I shot that jester head a lot, maybe it added something to the count, and that damn chicken. What were they doing keeping a chicken in a crib like that? What kind of parents? Oh God. Oh God. I just wanted it to be quiet. It was a baby! I killed their disgusting poop baby! All in all, I think the retro FPS genre is one of budding talent, where indie legends are born, and where I patiently wait for the sweet embrace of death. Put that one on the Steam page, Dave. And I'll do Postal Brain Damage next time. I was going to put it in the roundup so that maybe I could fulfill the cursed contract I signed with Running with Scissors that gives them permission to use my likeness in exchange for being bothered for months by Postal fans who want me to make videos on barely functional early access builds of Postal 4. That was not a good trade.
Don't think I didn't hear that boomer-ass MASH reference, boy.
Nah, it's classic television. Everybody
You're in
got
for
it.
it now.
Oh, God damn it.